Carolyn Bessette-Kennedy's makeup, skincare, and hair products she used and loved. Carolyn Bessette-Kennedy's wardrobe has been studied for decades. The coats, the sunglasses, the handbags. Every silhouette has been archived. Her approach to beauty merits equal attention. Throughout the 1990s, her appearance remained remarkably consistent. Matte skin, defined lips, neutral eyes, center-parted hair. Nothing about her face looked accidental. The repetition was deliberate. The products behind that consistency were specific. Many were professional. Some were niche. A few were ahead of their time. This is a documented reconstruction of the makeup, skincare, hair care, and fragrance associated with her during the 1990s. 20 products, sourced through interviews, industry recollections, and contemporary reporting. In an era defined by trend cycles, her face rarely shifted with the seasons. There were no sudden reinventions, no dramatic departures. The consistency itself became part of her identity. That consistency was supported by products chosen carefully and used repeatedly. You're watching Cultured Elegance. Like, subscribe, and join as a channel member for exclusive benefits. You will find all product links are in the description. Before she became a public figure, Carolyn worked in luxury retail and public relations. She began at Calvin Klein in the late 1980s and eventually rose to director of publicity. That environment required constant proximity to photographers, models, editors, and stylists. Appearance was not decorative, it was professional currency. Her beauty routine developed inside that world. When it came to fragrance, Carolyn Bessette-Kennedy wore Egyptian musk oil from Abdul Kareem essential oils. This was not a department store perfume, and it was not part of a major fashion house campaign. It was concentrated oil applied directly to the skin in small amounts. Egyptian musk is warm and slightly powdery. It sits close to the body. It does not project across a room. In the 1990s, when bold commercial fragrances dominated counters, this choice placed her outside that mainstream wave. Fragrance is often the most personal element of a routine. Unlike commercial launches backed by advertising campaigns, Egyptian musk circulated through word of mouth. It was discovered, not promoted. Oil-based fragrance also interacts differently with skin. Developing gradually, the result is presence that feels private. Egyptian musk suggests preference for something subtle, intimate, and consistent. Her skin presentation throughout the 1990s was consistently even-toned and matte. Under flash photography, her complexion held its structure. There was no glare across the forehead, no reflective shine across the cheeks. The surface appeared smooth, refined, and deliberate. That finish can be traced back to Janet Sartin. Janet Sartin was not a prestige counterbrand built on packaging or marketing spectacle. It developed within a corrective skincare philosophy, centered on balance, resurfacing, and long-term maintenance. The emphasis was stability, keeping the skin regulated rather than constantly reacting to trends. During the 1990s, shine was corrected rather than celebrated. Oil control products dominated counters, and matte finishes were considered modern. Her complexion reflected that standard precisely. She used gentle cleansing soap, a straightforward cleanser intended to remove makeup and surface buildup without disrupting the barrier. White Astringent, formulated to tighten the appearance of pores and reduce excess oil, particularly important in an era that favored matte finishes. Sensitive skin treatment, a stabilizing formula designed to calm reactivity and maintain an even tone. Continual Action Cream, created to support gradual renewal and refine texture over time. Compact powder foundation, pressed coverage that provided structure helping the complexion appear uniform under both daylight and studio lighting. Loose powder, applied to set the base and preserve a dry, controlled surface throughout long days and public appearances. Across candid street photography and formal event coverage alike, her skin remained consistent. There was clarity without heaviness, coverage without thickness. The finish never tipped into gloss. Calvin Klein in the 1990s promoted a stripped-back aesthetic. Neutral tones, minimal styling, clean lines. The brand's campaigns favored natural skin and restrained makeup. Her personal presentation aligned closely with the visual language of the company she represented. In addition to Janet Sartin's base products, she used MAC Studio Fix powder. MAC Studio Fix became a staple in professional kits during the 1990s. The formula offered buildable coverage in a matte format. This was a decade defined by structured skin, defined cheekbones, clean foreheads, controlled shine. Her mascara choice followed the same restrained approach. MAC X Mascara in black, applied to define lashes without theatrical thickness. Photographs show clear separation and length without clumping. Professional makeup brands like MAC were rising rapidly during this period, favored by artists and photographers for their reliability under flash. Studio Fix became part of that professional movement. She also used Bobbi Brown Eyeshadow in Bone, a matte pale yellow shade introduced during the early years of Bobbi Brown's neutral-focused launch in 1991. The color brightened the eyelid without shimmer. The 1990s saw heavy metallic shadows and frosted finishes. Bone stood apart from that trend. Her eyes rarely appeared dramatically contoured. The definition came from placement and tone. When Bobbi Brown launched in 1991 with a collection of brown-based lipsticks and neutral shadows, it marked a departure from the heavy glamour of the late 1980s. Bone fit squarely into that aesthetic shift. During the years she worked at Calvin Klein, Carolyn developed a routine that appears to have been remarkably efficient. Model Michael Bergen recounted this. She leapt out of bed, hopped in the shower, and got dressed all in about 7 minutes flat. A simple dress, simple shoes, the tiniest hint of makeup. Everything about her was pared down, he had said.
7 minutes flat. The remark offers a glimpse into how streamlined her preparation likely was. Rather than an elaborate sequence of products, her routine seems to have relied on a handful of dependable steps repeated each morning, an even base, defined lips, and smooth, controlled hair. That kind of speed usually comes from familiarity. Over time, the process becomes second nature, carried out quickly because every step is already known.
Her lip routine followed a layered structure that remained consistent across years of public appearances. The shape was defined first. Color came second. Nothing appeared accidental. MAC lip liner in Spice. A warm brown pencil used to map the perimeter of the mouth before lipstick was applied. In the 1990s, lip liner played a central role in shaping and anchoring color. Spice added subtle depth while maintaining a natural contour. It prevented feathering and ensured the pigment stayed controlled. MAC lip conditioner, worn underneath to maintain smoothness and prevent cracking, especially under matte formulas. The base layer allowed color to sit evenly rather than settling into lines. Bobbi Brown sheer lipstick in Ruby, a blue-based red with clarity and depth. The original formula delivered pigment without excessive shine. It registered clearly in photographs while maintaining composure in person. The original Ruby she wore has since been discontinued. Today, Bobbi Brown Cosmetics offers a comparable shade, crushed lip color in Ruby, considered the closest modern equivalent in tone and saturation. Face Stockholm Veil Lipstick in Cranberry, a deeper berry tone frequently associated with her photographs throughout the mid-1990s. The shade carried richness while remaining refined, pairing seamlessly with neutral clothing and structured tailoring. In event photography and street images alike, the lip line remained precise. The edges were sharp. The pigment appeared saturated but never slick. The result was balanced, strong enough to register from a distance, measured enough to maintain harmony with the rest of her face. Her lip color often carried the visual weight of the entire look. With neutral eyes and matte skin, the mouth became the focal point. The shape remained structured. The saturation remained controlled. The repetition reinforced familiarity. At her 1996 wedding to John F. Kennedy Jr., Carolyn handled her makeup largely on her own. Rosemarie Terencio later recalled that she wore sheer moisturizer, a touch of eyeliner, mascara, and her favorite Bobbi Brown Ruby Stain lip color. Contemporary descriptions echo that simplicity: light coverage, defined eyes, and a controlled lip. Choosing to prepare her own face for one of the most photographed days of her life underscores how established and dependable her routine already was. Face Stockholm nail polish in number 9. A neutral shade aligned with the restrained tones that defined her wardrobe: creams, blacks, camels, and deep browns. Her manicures rarely competed with her clothing. They functioned as an extension of it. Photographs from the mid-1990s show nails kept short, shaped softly, and finished in colors that did not distract from the overall silhouette. Stylist Stacey London, who met Carolyn during her time at Calvin Klein, later recalled that Carolyn wore Chanel Vamp nail polish, now known as Rouge Noir, before it became widely adopted. Vamp launched in 1994 and quickly became one of the decade's defining shades. According to London, Carolyn was wearing it early, before it reached mainstream saturation. Her nail choices reveal that she was paying attention, selecting pieces from within the industry rather than following it from a distance. Wearing Vamp early suggests proximity to industry conversations rather than delayed adoption. Face Stockholm highlighter, Radiance and Dignity. In the mid-1990s, highlighter was used sparingly. It was not a headline product. It existed to refine bone structure. Radiance and Dignity were subtle creams designed to lift the planes of the face with tone, not sparkle. Applied along the upper cheekbone or just beneath the brow, they created a slight shift in light that registered in photographs without appearing glossy in person. Her hair became one of her most recognizable signatures: center-parted, long, and consistently sleek. The cut rarely changed. The finish stayed controlled. There was movement, yet no visible excess product weighing it down. She used Philip Kingsley moisture-balancing shampoo and conditioner, professional-grade formulas developed with scalp health in mind. Philip Kingsley, a London-based trichologist, built his line around elasticity and strength. That approach aligned with how her hair appeared in photographs: healthy at the root, smooth through the mid-length, and free of dull buildup. Philip Kingsley Elasticizer was part of that regimen. Originally created for Audrey Hepburn, Elasticizer is a pre-shampoo conditioning treatment applied before washing. Its purpose is structural, improving flexibility and reducing breakage. The result is shine that comes from condition. For styling, she turned to Kiehl's cream with Silk Groom. Introduced in the 1970s, Silk Groom is a lightweight cream that smooths flyaways and refines texture without creating stiffness. It allows hair to hold shape while retaining softness. The shift from 1980s volume to 1990s sleekness required restraint in product usage. Heavy sprays gave way to smoothing creams and conditioning treatments. Her hair reflects that transition clearly: controlled texture, visible health, and movement preserved. Across seasons and public appearances, her hair reads as intentional and steady. There is polish, yet no visible lacquer. The part remains sharp. The surface remains even. The overall impression is stunning, achieved through care and intention. Carolyn Bessette-Kennedy's beauty routine reflected intention. The products she used worked together to maintain a look that stayed consistent year after year. All product links are in the bio. If you enjoy detailed, research-based deep dives like this, subscribe to the channel. And for exclusive content and members-only benefits, consider becoming a channel member. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.